What is going on, everybody? It's Hunter here from the Next Step Podcast, here with Dusty Young. Man, Dusty, you are looking handsome today, let me tell you.
Can't take you seriously.
Well, seriously, we did our workout today, and it was Dusty and I going at it like cats. We were all over each other.
Please add some context.
No,
to that.
you can add context. That's all I have to say.
No. maybe cats in the way that they don't like each other, not necessarily like tomcats looking for a good time.
I mean, oh yeah, see, I didn't think about no tomcats. I don't even know what a tomcat is, frankly.
Okay.
But no, that was a fun workout today. We had contradictory ideas. We kept going back and forth. And at the end of the day, I think we still like each other.
I don't know, dude. I don't know if I could still be friends with you. But
anyways, today we've got a special episode for you. Today we're going to talk about something a little different and something that, I'm pretty hesitant or at least thought about making this. We don't talk a lot about specific business things, but depending on who's listening, I know we've got a lot of members. We got a lot of people here at Hybrid who run their own businesses, but I also think that you can make comparisons or parallels between business in fitness. So if you are here for fitness, that's typically what you listen to, then make sure you listen on. And then if you are a business person or got a side hustle or something, then you will definitely get something out of this either way. So stay tuned. So
what do we got?
Well, here's the topic, and we have not pre-discussed this, by the way, so this is going to be an open discussion. It is the 5 keys that we used in the past 9 months to double the top-end revenue for the business.
You sure you want to put a number on this? 5? You don't want to just do like...
Well, we can do bonuses.
Top dough. All right, well...
We do bonuses.
As long as we can come up with at least 5, I'm happy.
Okay. Yeah. So Dusty, what's well, actually, no, I'll start it off. So I'm going first.
Let's preface this. Like, these are in no particular order, right? Like, these are just the top 5, so to speak.
Yeah, the first one I feel like is like a foundation, right? And for the most part, they're not thought of in that order. So I gotta say, number 1 is find somebody not like you. Find somebody who has your weaknesses or is their strength.
Yeah,
that's how it's said. Find somebody whose strength is your weakness, and then they supplement you. So 9 months ago, Dusty came on full time. Enough said.
I think it was 10 months ago.
10 months ago.
Yeah.
So I think, we've had other great team members come on as well. And one of the main focuses we've had is figuring out, well, how can we not bring people in who are the same? Like, we might like people who are like us because it's kind of reinforcing. But what ends up happening when you have a bunch of people who are good at the same thing is a lot of the same things don't get done. And so by having different personalities, different skill sets, we've been able to build something pretty cool in the past 9 months. And we still have a lot way to go. Remember, we were talking about top line revenue, not the bottom.
Yeah, let's be clear here. we're not bringing in the dollars.
But we're setting the foundation, and we've built it up, and we at least got like a porch now. So that is number 1. So on the fitness end, right, if you are... if you're trying to figure out how to be successful in fitness, well, maybe don't find somebody who's like you. If you are just getting in the fitness game, well, maybe you don't find a workout partner who's also just getting in the fitness game. How can you find a trainer who's been successful at it, who, if you feel like you've been historically inconsistent, how can you get with somebody who has historically been consistent? That's what I did in business. That's what Dusty did. He's consistent. He's disciplined. I just get cool ideas every now and then, and 1 out of 100 is right, and the other 99 waste of time and money. That's it. So find people who are different than you. What's number 2, Dusty?
Number 2, I don't know. You don't want to dive deeper into that one at all?
Well, let's do it. Dive deeper.
Yeah.
Sorry.
What are the benefits of having somebody like me? Like, what do you feel as if I have brought to the table to allow the business to grow. Like, not just having conflicting ideas or beliefs or, things that we do, but like what exactly? Like, where's the benefit of bringing that person in?
Right. Well, in order, so
I guess I could say, where have I pissed you off the most that you had to question your ideas?
Yeah, well, I'll speak to like our own individual scenario, but then also from like if you're listening, right? And I think the first step to figuring out who do you bring in is you got to take a look in the mirror, get naked, look at yourself in the mirror, and figure out who are you, what are your strengths, and what are your weaknesses. And until you are honest with yourself about that, you can't bring in the right person. You can't find the right teammate or teammates. So that's what I had to do. I know what I enjoy doing. I know what I'm really good at. I know what I hate doing, and I know what I'm not good at. And so you kind of write all those down on like a quadrant on a piece of paper, and you figure out, all right, well, if I'm really good at these things, how can I do those more? Because that's maybe my gift, right? And then maybe these other things I can work on, and some of these things I just shouldn't do, but somebody loves to do those things and is so dang good at it, right? And so that's what I did. And so I realized, well, hey, I'm pretty creative and come up with new ideas. I'm pretty good at like hearing and listening to people, right? And having them felt heard. I'm pretty good at like motivating people and make them feel good. And so like that's a role that I can play and that I also enjoy. I'm also good at like tech type stuff and like video type stuff. So that's something that I can do, but I don't want to do all the time. So I can teach it and do that as well. What I'm not good at, consistency. Now, I don't like to like talk over myself because this is something I'm always working on. And I even think you, Dusty, might say that my consistency level has increased a lot. Like if I'm looking at myself in the mirror and being honest, I got to give myself a pat on the back, but still not my strength. So not my strength, my consistency, my discipline behind the things that need to get done. When it comes to like in the business, like billing and like making sure like all the little dots are checked and clean, the detail stuff, I'm not great at. And guess what? Dusty is the most disciplined, the most consistent, and the most cross your T, dot your I type of guy I ever met. And I can hang out with him and don't want to murder him after being 10 minutes with him. I know sometimes. So that's what it is. That's what it is. And it just so happened when we first met, I mean, I think you always knew that you have so much to give, that you have a lot of, I don't know. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Like, but man, as soon as I got to know you, I was like, holy shit. Dusty has like unlimited potential. Like the only thing holding himself back is himself. And so like, that's where I felt like we can work together. Like I freaking motivate him, and like help him believe in himself. And I think now you are believing a lot more in yourself. At least that's what it would show. And I do my little things, and then you just make sure that I don't blow up the gym.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really it in a nutshell. I mean, your consistency, by the way, has improved greatly.
Oh, thank you, buddy. Finally, you said something nice to me today.
I know. And yeah, I guess I'm the detail oriented one. Like I'm the one that, I mean, hell, you just made fun of me like 20 minutes ago. You came down. I was on my computer looking at a spreadsheet, and you're giving me shit for it. So, but I mean, I think I think that's that is why we work well together, and we're able to get things done because you have like the big picture stuff, and then I break it down and get all the little shit that you don't want to do or don't enjoy doing or can't remember to do, let's be honest. So yeah, no, I think as hard as it can be sometimes, because we do have conflicting ideas, as long as we look at the greater good of the business and the goal that's at hand, we're okay with saying, oh shit, maybe I'm wrong here, or maybe his idea is a little better.
Yeah.
So
it's important when you bring somebody on that has different beliefs. Not that we have different beliefs. It's more of like we might see things differently on how to get to the same goal. we have aligned values. It's just how to get there is sometimes like we would do it different. And so for me, I like to move fast. And Dusty, it's not that Dusty doesn't like to move fast. He just wants to move fast and do it right. And he will put his foot down, right? And so, and if your idea sucks, then like on either end, you got to be with that person. You got to be able to be open about it and be like, look, you don't suck. Just the idea sucks. It's okay. And so being able to like be okay with that in your head and know like, look, we're better together. There's going to be something, the ideas that you have, that's going to move the business in the right direction. And there's going to be some that I have, move the business in the right direction. We're going to have to shut each other down. It's a check and balance. But together, it's gold. A great reference or a book, if you like this idea, something that helped me immensely and helped me find Dusty and bring him into my life was it's a book called Rocket Fuel by Gino Wickman. It's a great book. It talks about finding that person, that integrator. If you are a sort of a visionary type person, which I am, Dusty would be the integrator. I'm a visionary. It's just very helpful. So this applies again to business, relationships. It applies to fitness as well. So any additional pieces on number one?
No, I think we've covered it pretty well.
Well, what's number two?
Number two. Well, I mean, I guess since we've touched on it, is measuring, as many metrics as you can that, are important, like realistically, and just making decisions based off of the data, like, yeah, do I have a ton of spreadsheets? I do, but it tells us, exactly, where we want to be, what we need to do to get there, and then we just break it down into small pieces so it doesn't look like this like overbearing goal that we have, so, and then we just break it down by weeks, months, whatever it is, like, and this is the goal. So having particular, not just goals, but knowing what to measure, so I mean, I guess it's different depending on what kind of business you're running, but for us, things like retention and just the cost of acquiring a member for the gym, like things like that, like knowing how much money we need to spend versus how much we're going to make on average, if somebody comes on, and then how many people we're losing. So it's really dependent on the business that you run, but yeah, I don't know. What do you find to be the one of the most important things about that?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you one thing. Going without it is like driving blind with no headlights in the middle of the night with a bunch of grizzlies and deer running through the road. I mean, there was a long time where, I was taught by somebody to, hey, let's figure out, how many people do we get interested to raise their hand? Maybe they give us an email or a phone number, right? And then, how many people then can you get to hop on the phone with you, right? And then how many people from there will sign up with you, right? So you kind of get this. So you want to track all this, right? Because if you do that with 100 people and you can sign up 20, well, hey, I just need to get 100 more people to get 20 more. And so like that's what I was taught, and I didn't use any of my common sense apparently. They never talked about retention, right? And of course, that's the most important thing. Retention is the most important thing because if we have a crappy product, people are leaving all the time. Like, why do we even live as a business, right? Like, our number one reason to run this business is to serve our customers and our clients. And a direct measurement of how well we're doing in 99% of the cases is retention. And here's something that's crazy. Is most businesses don't pay attention to that. They at least service-based businesses. They don't look at retention.
That blew my mind when you told me that the other day.
Yeah, I mean that's insane.
You need to know.
Imagine it's just like the stupidest analogy that has been overused. But you got the bucket and you want to get a full bucket of water, right? You're like, yeah, I'm putting all this water in the bucket. Yeah, it's gonna be full soon. But then it just like, for some reason, like it's not getting full. You're like, keep doing that, right? And you're like beating your head against the wall because you're like, pouring all this water in the bucket, but there's a hole in the bottom. But you ignoring the hole. Like, imagine ignoring the hole and the water leaving. That was that. So bringing in the attrition or the retention number is extremely important. Extremely important. So tracking those numbers. And Dusty, yes, you said it so well. You can make decisions off of it. The data doesn't lie as long as you're meticulous and consistent about putting the numbers in the spreadsheets. And Dusty does that. So you will make better decisions for the long run. And we can do that because we've kept our data for a long period of time. And that's good for the short term and for the long term.
So I guess we can make the comparison here again with your health, fitness, weight loss journey, whatever it is. Like you could take day by day data. Say you're trying to lose weight, but that doesn't matter because that's going to go up, that's going to go down. But what's important? What's the most important thing when it comes to losing weight or gauging weight? Right? What is it? It's the trend. Right? Over time. So you need those data points, and you need a lot of them, and then you just look at the trend. Don't look at the day-to-day stuff, just look at the trend. So it's just a numbers game. And I'm sure, I don't know if this relates to all business, but I mean, I would think so, right? Like, yeah, it's a numbers game. Play to your odds, right? That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like with where I mentioned I was kind of hesitant, in this is I don't want any of our clients to think that they're just a number.
No.
That's not it at all. Because in our meetings, we go over big picture numbers. We'll say, like this, a very specific time where we could freak out because on a small point on the spreadsheet, it said last week or in our meeting yesterday that we lost 5 members and we gained 2. That's a -3. We can't do that very long and stay in business. But our trend shows that, well, hey, like we have very few weeks that happen. But within that, we go into depth with each client. All right, who missed this week? Who can we reach out to? Who needs a little extra help and accountability? We go deep into each individual. We talk about it. So don't think that it's just a number when I talk about this. And it's probably just me feeling weird talking about business because I've never really done that.
But it is a business, right? And for us to be able to help people, which is truly like everybody that we have here cares about, our members. It isn't a number. But in order for us to be able to help these people, we do need to stay in business. So it is a balance. Like, the business needs to be profitable at some point, in order for us to fulfill the service, which is to, help somebody reach their goals. So people aren't just numbers, but it is a business. It's a very delicate balance for sure. And that's what I'm learning because I've only been a part of this for a short period. So it's hard to kind of separate the emotional versus, the business side of it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it helps when you are both servicing your clients and doing the numbers. Like, you kind of see the realities versus just like, the spreadsheets. But going back to like we lost 5, we gained 2, right? Like, that's not good, right? You can have an emotional freak out, but it's actually not bad because we see the trend, and it's anomalous to weight loss, right? Hop on the scale. What? My weight went up. Or my weight went down. Yeah, but it doesn't matter. Look at your trend. The trend is the truth. Trend is the truth. So, all right. Anything else there?
No, I think we touched upon that.
Cool. All right. Well, I think we got time for one more, and then maybe we'll have to do a part 2. We'll do a part 2.
Possibly.
Yeah. Okay. What's number 3, Dusty? Anything come to your mind?
Man, I don't know. What have we done in the last year? Okay, let's think. Bringing in other individuals that believe in the same they have the same values, right? And they want to help people. I think, how do I want to word it? There's a better way to word it. Help me out here.
You said bringing in people who have the same values and goals. I see what you're saying.
They're team oriented.
Yeah. I don't know if this is the direction you want to take it, but it makes me think of something.
Okay.
And let me know if this is your thinking. Is you align the business's goals with personal goals.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah. So people that buying into the system. I guess that's what I'm getting at. And we don't have to sell them on the system.
Oh, right.
Right? So everything just lines up well. I mean, obviously there are going to be some there's a learning curve, right? And getting to the right point, having everything aligned perfectly, but getting people in that care about people, right? They want to help people. Their goal is, to just grow and help others grow.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, I don't know how long ago it was, but we had and I'd never done this before, but it was more of a vision talk of a big picture thing and sharing it with the entire team, talking about, wait, what does this look like? What does this look like for a year, 2 years, 3 years out? What direction are we moving in? And then showing you hey, this is where you fit in. This is a part of this. And by the way, here's how this lines up with you personally on the finances. Of course, you come to work to make money, right? So how can we make that work for you there and your longevity and your retirement and whatnot? But then how can we also make that line up for you and your values base and what fulfills you and makes you, kind of jump for joy when you go to work? Aligning those two things, and so they aren't fighting against each other. I think a lot of times you go to a job, you might only get one of those two. You either have something that you're doing that's super fulfilling, but you do it for free. Maybe you volunteer, right? And then the other spectrum is, you do a job. We've talked about this with Dusty. Do a job that gets all the financial stuff out of the way and make sure you're taken care of, but the work isn't fulfilling. So it's how can we fill both of those needs for everybody? And really take the time to not just do this in a group, like I mentioned, but having some one-on-one meetings with your members on a recurring basis. Sorry, not your members, your team members on a recurring basis, and really figuring out, one, how, where are they at? How's life right now, right? Understanding where people are, because it's important. Number two, what do you see yourself for 1 year, 2 year, 3 years? Outside of this, what do you want for yourself, right? Okay, you see yourself being here 2 years? Well, great. How can we help you get there through this? And so it makes sense for us and for you. And you have that open discussion. And at that point, when you have that open discussion, you're no longer employer, employee. You are now a team. You're working together for this common goal that's going to help both of you. And that's when things get really fun. And when you're working beside that person, you're working with that person, you know each other, you know what's driving each other, and you want that person to succeed because you're doing it for the, it's just, and everybody wins. It's like a game. It's a video game, except it's not a video game because it's real life. It's awesome.
It is awesome, man. To have people, to know that you are with a team that, nobody here views this as a job, right? Nobody views this as, or views their job you ask somebody to do something. Well, that's not really my job. No, we don't have that. We are all here and we collectively do things to make the business better. That's the overall goal, right? And how can we work together to achieve that? And everybody here is a team player, hands down. And I think that's so important. You don't need that negative kind of energy of, you're not just coming in here to clock in, put your 8 hours in or whatever it is. I have not thought that once since I've been here, and that's one of the greatest feelings in the world is, yes, do I want to go home at the end of the night? Of course, but I'm not staring at the clock. I'm not.
It's it's really cool for me. And for me, I'm man, what I want to provide for our team, right? Is I want everybody to be able to have this set schedule if they want it. So they have that regularity and they can have a good work-life balance, so to speak. Not that I know anything about that, but that's what I want to provide. But seeing team members go above and beyond, literally, I think everybody on the team has done that. They will, and while in my head I'm man, they don't have to do that. It's like, holy crap. Like, that's really motivating.
Yeah.
Because, like, we're all doing more than we need to do. But, like, it's because we all have a clear vision, and, like, we all want to win, and we are winning, and, like, we just keep doing it. And when you see the other people do it and you're having fun doing it, it's just like a camaraderie. It's a team thing, you know. There's nothing that can replace it.
Yeah. So I just think having that solid team, dude.
So aligning personal goals with the goals of your business.
Yeah, I think it comes down to you could hire the hardest worker, but if they're not bought into your system, if they don't believe in what you're doing, then it could work for a little while.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's going to work completely. So.
No. Well, Dusty, we don't have much more time. So I think we should continue this in a part 2 for next time.
Part 2.
Part 2 of the topic of this.
So
the top 5 things.
The top 5
that have doubled the business.
That have doubled the business.
In the last 9 months. Which will also potentially do that for you and your health and fitness goals, your relationships, and if you get a business, if you can apply some of these things in some way, then I'm sure you'll see progress as well. Any last thoughts?
No, not really. Just that I'm kind of glad that you've cut us down here. I'm having a hard time thinking.
Really?
Yeah, my brain's a little cluttered today. So,
well, I just want to go back to our conversation when we were working out. Man, you really are a bastard. You know that? You are. Man, we're talking about. Listeners, let's talk this. What was our talk about? Since we have a few extra minutes.
Which one?
Which one should we talk about? There's so many.
I don't know. You seem pretty heated about something.
Well, it was what was it? The soreness thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, soreness thing.
Yep.
Yeah. So like, yeah, if you're sore, does that mean you're not recovering?
Your whole big thing. You went to Planet Fitness. You know, you went behind our backs and you did some bicep curls. And you did some calf raises in your stringer, whatever you wore to the gym there at Planet Fitness.
Get on my level.
And you're like, oh man, I'm so sore after that. And you know, I mean, we know as trainers, educated trainers, right, that soreness does not indicate a good workout. In fact, it's probably detrimental, and you probably went too far. But
I don't disagree.
But you have this idea that it was actually good because it motivated you, because it made you feel good.
So my argument is that there is both a science, and the science that you present is, you know, probably correct, right? And I agree with. But then there's the art to it. And we all know, well, you talked about a study the other day about steroids and whatnot. All these guys, they thought they were on steroids, and then they weren't, and they got jacked. They got jacked. And that would go against the science. Right? You shouldn't get that jacked as a steroid to jacked person, right? Was that what it was?
Yeah.
If you don't have the steroids. So, look, I felt good. When my biceps were sore, they weren't too sore, by the way. They were just sore. They weren't affecting my day. I didn't cry a tear. I felt pretty damn good. I looked in the mirror and I said, damn, Hunter. Look out, world. Oh, man. I better wear this ring around.
Hide your wives.
Yeah, I better wear this ring or else, you know, I'll be deflecting the ladies away. Anyways, so that's the talk. So what do you think? What do you think, listeners? Is it about the science or the art or a little bit of both? I mean, obviously a little bit of both.
There's so much context here, man. I could...
Is this bugging you?
Yeah, it is.
Good.
Yeah, you hit my button again.
Yes.
I was just starting to cool down.
Oh, really? Well, eat an Oreo.
I might.
Yeah. Oreos are good.
Oh, dude. Kathy hooked us up.
Kathy went away. She's doing a nice hike out in the... What's it called again? Machu Picchu?
Yep.
In Peru.
Out in Peru.
And we've got... At the end of all of our meetings, we do a rating, right? 1 through 10. How effective and awesome was this meeting? And if you say less than an 8, you have to say, well, what can we do to improve the meeting? So that would be 8 or more. And that Mike Shaw guy, he always says, well, it's He actually will say an 8. He's like, it was an 8, but I'd give it a 10 if there were cookies. So Kathy left cookies on her trip away.
Yeah.
And now we're getting 10s.
Yeah, 10s. I mean, we started with 2 family-sized packs, and we're down to the last one, and we only had 2 meetings. So
they're in my office, though, so
yeah,
I've destroyed them. But
yeah.
Well, I think that's it, guys. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. We'll see you next time for part 2.
Part 2.
Part 2 of Return of the Jedi.
Okay.
All good?
Sure.
All right. Have a good one.
See you guys.